should. I think we're ready. Yeah. All right. So I'd like to welcome everybody to what is pretty exciting news for St. Louis, that we will be hosting one of the events for the LA 28 Summer Olympics. So real quick, we'll have a few speakers. The Honorable Mayor Kara Spencer, Diego Gigliani, the President and GM of St. Louis City SC. We have Mark Schreiber, the President of the St. Louis Sports Commission, and Brad Dean from Explore St. Louis. They'll each give a few remarks. We'll open it up to Q&A, and then if anybody wants one-on-ones or a scrum, we can set that up as well. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Mayor Spencer to the podium.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad that we could all come together to announce this extremely exciting news for St. Louis. St. Louis hosting the 2028 Summer Olympics soccer games here at this very stadium could not be more exciting for our city, could not be more exciting for our community, and could not be more exciting for St. Louis Energizer Park. Just a truly, truly exciting day for St. Louis. You know, we are at our core here in St. Louis a soccer team, you know, going back to the days of the Steamers. But, you know, I mean, just the fan base here is just absolutely incredible. And, you know, we know that Olympic Games, of course, truly transcend and really bring us together. Summer 2028 will actually mark the return of Olympic Games here in the city of St. Louis, going back to 1904, the 1904 Olympics. And of course, this is a personal moment for me, having a soccer Olympian and Al Trost here in St. Louis. He was my soccer coach growing up. And while he hasn't played in the Olympics since the 70s, of course, his legacy still remains here. I really want to just give a shout out and a thank you to LA 28, the organizing team who's, you know, has their faith in not only our city, but Energizer Park, the phenomenal investment that SC Soccer has made in our city, in this caliber, to be able to host Olympic Games. The award-winning 30-acre site here is the largest urban professional sports campus in the U.S. Just a phenomenal asset for our community, and we look forward to showing it off to the world. This team has been a huge rebirth of downtown, of our city. I'm incredibly proud to have the word city in the name. It is just a tremendous benefit to our city and the rebirth of our community downtown here. Thank you to the GM Diego for being here today. Thank you for everything that the team is doing, and I want to thank your phenomenal ownership group, the Taylor family. They knew this team would be part of our collective story, and choosing the name for a reason. The ownership group truly believes in our city. The investment made here is to our community. Sports brings us together as we pause to celebrate with Summer Olympic Games. 2028 and 2028, our city will have a lot to cheer about. I don't know if you caught that, but I do really want to thank the ownership group here, the Taylor family, the investment made in this award-winning, phenomenal stadium right here in downtown, right in our city, in the heart of our city, and choosing to include city in the name St. Louis City SC. This is a truly phenomenal investment in our city, and as you can see, kids can continue to pay dividends and really bring in phenomenal opportunities for the broader St. Louis community. They believe in St. Louis, so do I, and what a phenomenal and very fun day for St. Louis to announce that we'll be having Olympic Games right here in just a couple of years. Truly, truly exciting. Thank you. And I didn't get to run a show very well.
All right, good morning, and thank you, Mayor Spencer, Alderman Aldridge, Mark, Brad, and our partners across the city and region. This is a proud and meaningful moment for St. Louis City SC, for our ownership group, and for our city. Being selected as a competition venue for the LA 28 Olympic Games is an extraordinary honor. It reflects the confidence placed in St. Louis as a host city and in our stadium as a world-class venue for the world's game. Accessibility is central to this venue with multiple features that ensure fans of all abilities feel welcome, and that commitment aligns perfectly with the spirit of the Olympic Games. The stadium has also earned multiple international recognitions, including the 2024 Prix Versailles World Architecture Award in Sports, and the LEED Gold certification for operations and maintenance, which reflect our very intentional approach to design and sustainability that's integrated into how we operate every event. But obviously this moment extends well beyond the stadium walls. Our stadium has become a catalyst for growth in downtown West, helping to activate public space, attract new visitors, and support local businesses. Hosting Olympic soccer will bring global attention to downtown St. Louis, driving economic impact for restaurants, hotels, and small businesses throughout this area. But inside the stadium, the experience is defined by the people and the fans. Our stadium has quickly become known for one of the most electric environments in North American soccer, fueled by the passion and pride of St. Louis fans. That energy is something we're excited to share with the world in 2028. This achievement is the result of strong collaboration across the city and regional partners, and we're grateful to everyone who helped make it possible. For soccer fans interested in attending the Olympic matches, the LA 28 ticket registration draw is open on their website, and the schedule of matches will be published later in April. We are honored, we are ready, and we look forward to welcoming the world to our stadium, to our city, and to our home in 2028. Thank you.
You like those?
I love those rings.
Awesome. Diego, thank you very much. Well, who knew that the Olympics would be coming back to St. Louis so soon? How about that? Just from all of us, huge credit and just a huge thank you to City SC. This is all the organization's doing, pulling this off, and you know they've delivered a gem of a facility, a franchise, and now Olympic soccer to St. Louis. And their mission to use soccer as a platform to showcase St. Louis to the world continues to be fulfilled. And we're just absolutely ecstatic. It's certainly fitting to have Olympic soccer matches take place in the city that's the birthplace to soccer's popularity in the United States and the birthplace to the Olympics in America. Our Olympic legacy means so much to the Sports Commission and to St. Louis. And as America's first Olympic city, let's always remember that, as America's first Olympic city, we are in exclusive company. We always have a seat at the table with the world's greatest cities. And now, to be able to build on that legacy by hosting Olympic soccer matches in 2028, allowing St. Louis to have a role in the LA Games, well, that's of course huge for our region. And it's worth noting, this isn't the only opportunity that we have to connect with LA 28. We're working to make sure that St. Louis is part of the Olympic torch relay that year, and we're bidding right now on the 2028 U.S. Olympic marathon trials, and we're actually a finalist city for that event. If all of this (2028). Congratulations to City SC, congratulations to Mayor Spencer, and congratulations to our entire community. Thank you. And now that the microphone's back working, it's my partner in crime, the President and CEO of Explore St. Louis, Brad Dean.
Thank you. Congratulations. Well, somehow good morning just seems to understate it. I think this is a great morning for St. Louis, isn't it? You know, this is an historic moment, and when you think about it, it's not just the announcement of a major event. This is really an announcement of a homecoming. As Mark alluded to, there's no denying St. Louis's rich ties to the soccer culture and the experience delivered here, but also the rich history as America's first Olympic city. So this is really a homecoming that feels quite natural to bring Olympic soccer right here to downtown St. Louis at Energizer Park. And couldn't have agreed any more with what the mayor said. We should give a lot of credit and acknowledgement today to Carolyn Kendall, to the Taylor family, and to the team here at City SC who deliver a world-class experience every time you visit here. Just think from the visitor's perspective. When they can stroll through historic Union Station, grab a meal at that pitch before you come to this pitch, and then see Olympic soccer as you're overlooking the arch. I mean, that is a media moment in and of itself. And one of the great things about being a part of the LA 28 Olympics is that we get to join the promotional hype for the next 2 years. So this allows us to put St. Louis on the pedestal that it deserves. And long before the first hotel reservation's made, long before the first ticket is actually turned in, we will actually experience the benefits from global publicity. And that's not something to take for granted when you think about the fact that this is coming on the heels of another major announcement a few months ago. Not only is St. Louis one of 7 sites to host Olympic soccer, we were the only region in the nation selected for new service from British Airways, from London Heathrow. So clearly St. Louis is emerging as more of attention's given both outside and inside the United States to what's happening here. This isn't just an announcement about Olympic soccer. This is a testament and an affirmation and confidence in the infrastructure of St. Louis, in the hospitality of St. Louis, and the community of St. Louis. And that gives all of us a point of pride to be able to celebrate as we welcome the Olympic Games to St. Louis in 2028. This is not just a moment. This is a milestone of momentum that helps us to write the next great chapter in St. Louis's history and help to ensure that our best days lie before us and not behind us. Thank you and congratulations to Diego, Carolyn, and the team here at City SC and Energizer Park. Mayor Spencer, congratulations. We're going to have to work on that international. She's welcoming everybody to the airport now in English. I think we're going to have to get you to do that in like 20 new languages as we bring more and more visitors from around the world in St. Louis. And congratulations to the St. Louis community. This is a huge victory for our region and a great sign of the great things to come in St. Louis in the future. Thank you and congratulations.
All right, open it up to questions if folks have them. You can.
How excited are the fans? The street team's here, right? How excited are you guys? I mean, this is a big win for SC Soccer. It's a big win for the city and downtown, but it's a big win for soccer fans in St. Louis, right? Oh, awesome. I just wanted to give a shout out to our fans here.
Maybe a question for Diego. Was there a site visit by Olympic Committee to St. Louis and making their selection to pick this as one of the sites? And if so, what specifically was it that drew them to this facility, to St. Louis? And was there anything from a development or infrastructure standpoint that they need to see or want to see before 2028 around the stadium?
Yeah, thanks. these processes for selection of cities to host big international events like this do take many months and do involve site visits. So yes, we did receive a group of people from a combination of LA 28, but also Soccer United Marketing, which is an extension of Major League Soccer, even some people from FIFA who work together with the Olympic Committee on organizing the soccer components of the Olympics. So yes, they did come here. With regards to your second question of what things were important, I can't speak entirely on behalf of LA 28, but my understanding was, first of all, they are continuing with the tradition of soccer, men's and women's Olympic Games being taken to other cities beyond just the host city. So it's not the first time that that is happening. It happened in Paris and it happened in several of the Olympics before, the Summer Olympics before that. So, and when they tried to do that, they're looking for some version of geographic representation of the country. So they were looking for some options here in the central part of the country. And then I think they were impressed by two things. One is the history that we've talked about, the history both with the Olympics, but also the history with soccer. And then secondly, the world-class facility and track record that we have had in hosting big international games here. They want it to be the best of the best in terms of both the infrastructure and the experience. And they have seen that we have hosted U.S. men's national team and U.S. women's national team. We've hosted a semifinal of the Gold Cup very recently. We've had international club friendlies with teams from the Premier League or the Bundesliga. And they have seen that everyone that comes here is impressed with the ability that this team has to operate those games, but also with the fact that fans show up and they cheer those teams. So I think the combination of both of those things, the history of the city with Olympics and soccer, and what the stadium can offer, were important to those decisions. Lastly, with regards to infrastructure and other expectations, I know that there are conversations, obviously, with Mayor Spencer and her office in making sure that we are ready to take advantage of LA 28 and be ready, but they wouldn't have made this decision if they weren't confident in the ability for the city entirely to come together and to make that work.
I'm not sure who wants to tackle a couple of these. Obviously, both women and men's teams are involved here. Do we have any expectation of if it's going to be one or the other or a combination? And then you mentioned the past experience that this region has with hosting international teams. Is the expectation that all of the teams are going to be doing their training on this campus, or is it going to be in at some of the other facilities, whether it's SLU, Principia, other sites that have hosted the international teams that have played here?
Yeah, I think we are really in the first step of the planning process now, but I can confirm with regards to your first question that it could be men's or women's games. It could be both. That is not yet defined, and we won't know until, I believe, April, when the actual assignment of matches to stadiums will take place. With regards to your second question.
Are all the trainings
Oh yeah, thank you.
going to be here, or
Yeah.
spread out?
I'm sure that they will, in the same way as happens whenever we have two teams that come here to play a game, official or friendly, we need to find training facilities for those teams. We will obviously offer our training facility and be able to use our training facility right across here or even this ground as a training facility. But I would not be surprised if there was also the need to look for other training facilities beyond just our own. And we know that SLU obviously has one, but we have other universities around here and other schools that could be interested in hosting those as training camps.
Since Kansas City is hosting the World Cup, do St. Louis leaders expect to lean on them, see what worked and what didn't, and be able to apply it to this event?
I mean, of course, of course, Kansas City is hosting World Cup games. We work very closely with the Kansas City host committee also to see how we can amplify those games. There will be a lot of people that we expect to be coming even to spend some time in St. Louis and go to the games in Kansas City. That is super exciting for the region overall. And we are very proud of what Kansas City is going to be receiving in terms of World Cup games. We are obviously working really hard to figure out how we will also celebrate in what will be a summer of soccer in the whole country, or even the whole region, really. It's obviously US, Mexico, and Canada. And even though we won't host any official World Cup games, we have a very well-developed plan with multiple work streams around how do we bring the excitement of the World Cup here, even if we don't have an official game. We will be hopefully making those announcements in the near term so everyone can see that it goes beyond just watch parties, what we will try to do here in St. Louis to bring that excitement here.
I'll just add that with any event taking place, we're always on the lookout to see how it goes and what we can learn. But the big thing I would emphasize is that you have an organization here and a stadium here that's very well versed in hosting international soccer events. So just going to say, we have an organization, a stadium here that's very well versed in hosting international soccer events. So I think they're going to be more than ready to go. Where we as a community, based on our track record and our experience, we're going to be more than ready to go.
This question's for Brad. Going off the question, World Cup in Kansas City. Kansas City is adding direct international flights to accommodate for the World Cup. You talked about the addition of British Airways. Obviously, Lufthansa has added flights. For 2028, do you anticipate maybe even more international flights coming to St. Louis because of these summer games coming here in 2028?
Yeah, an event like this coming to St. Louis puts us on the radar, no pun intended, with not just airlines, but other companies all throughout the world. The first phone call I got today was from Brand USA. Brand USA is the equivalent of Explore St. Louis for the nation. When they heard from LA28 that St. Louis was being added, they immediately called this morning looking as to how we can tap into that promotion. That gives us a platform that we wouldn't have received. We would never have been invited to that opportunity, to that party, if you will, but for City SC and Energizer Park. And I think it goes beyond just airlines, although I think it's going to certainly help wake some airlines up that St. Louis truly can compete at the global level. You think about my colleague Ron Kitchens and his team at Greater St. Louis. Ron's mission right now is more jobs, better jobs. This gives Ron and his team an opportunity to reach out, not only to learn from Kansas City, but other cities in the United States using this as leverage for economic development. For us at Explore St. Louis, it gives us an opportunity to talk to meeting planners and convention planners that wouldn't otherwise think about St. Louis. So I think airlines and other companies now will see St. Louis emerging. This is a moment for St. Louis, and we need to capitalize on it. What happens on the pitch will be exciting and fun and memorable. What happens beyond the pitch will really dictate a transformational impact for St. Louis long term.
When the stadium was being built and the plans were going into the stadium, was something like this, the Olympics, on the vision board? When did this all become part of a possibility? Like, where was it when the stadium was being built, or how did we get here?
I wouldn't say that the concrete opportunity around LA28 was part of the plan when this stadium was being built, but for sure, conceptually, the vision of bringing a world-class soccer stadium to the city definitely involved attracting world-class international soccer teams and games. And that has been something that we've been very intentional and purposeful in trying to go out and find. There are some practical limitations sometimes to hosting those games in terms of the size of the stadium, right? So the World Cup was not able to come here in St. Louis. The stadium was not built at the time that decision was taken. But regardless, the standard expectation there was for an NFL-size stadium. So we won't be able to host all sizes and all types of international games, but we will for sure be interested in and competing for the best of international soccer to come here to this amazing stadium. So it absolutely fits with the overall goal of why the stadium was built, where it was built, and at the standard with which it was built. But the specific opportunity came along much later. It's been months in conversations with them. Probably the more exciting part was maybe 1 or 2 months ago when we were on a phone call with them. You can imagine we've had multiple phone calls over multiple months, and they communicate to us that St. Louis has been selected as that stadium. And I remember I was on the call with Lindsay, my colleague, and we're like, wait, does this mean pre-selected or is it still another stage? Because it's so many steps in this process. And it was like, no, it's actually, this is it. Now you can officially sleep well knowing that Olympic Games will be coming to St. Louis. So that was a special moment, and then we've had to wait until we can make it known to the world.
This is for anyone who can chime in, but are there projected economic impacts in terms of revenue? How many people we expect here for this?
There will be, and there's models we'll use to specifically measure that, but that will probably be more predictable once we know when the rounds are being played and which teams are coming. So a bit of a guesstimate. Here's what we know for certain. We can bank on this. St. Louis is guaranteed to receive millions of dollars of positive public publicity, both domestically and internationally. We know that it's going to reach an audience that is highly predisposed to travel, which certainly will get an economic impact. As far as the specific dollars and jobs impact, I think once we know when they're playing and who's playing, then we'll be able to forecast exactly what it means. But make no doubt about it, the publicity is the gift that keeps on giving. The economic benefit is another layer on that St. Louis will benefit from.
Brad, of course, said it well, but the one thing I would just add to that is if you look at the map of cities that the event's going to, I think it's very noteworthy that you've got St. Louis and really nothing west until the West Coast. And what that says to me is we're going to be drawn from Chicago, Kansas City, you name it. There's a huge window there that's going to be a tremendous regional draw. And so that's going to really be a boost to the economic impact of the event.
I know the state has some tools at its disposal as far as incentives. The Sports Commission has spoken of wanting to have more. Did the city, did the state, has the Sports Commission committed to any incentives to bring this here?
Not on Olympic soccer.
Thank you all. Thank you for coming. Do a quick photo with this group. If you want to come tighter for the still photographers. And then if people have additional one-on-ones. Right, got you.
Should we get the flags up?